Hello everyone, and today we'll be talking about a really good show that I love personally that has never made me hate it besides that one season 2 episode. But today we'll be talking about that said show because, well, if you're on Twitter or any part of the Helluva community, or you just watch people who talk about how bad stories is out there, or as bad blitzes, or that's it. They just moan about Stollis, honestly. But I bet that like season 1 Stollis was horrible, but so was Blitz. So like they're equal here. But we will be talking mainly about problems in Hellbus and my personal opinions on them. We will be talking about doubters that most people, or just me, hates. He annoys me a bit, but I don't hate him. We'll be talking about how people just make excuses to hate Hellboss. I mean, if you hate it, don't watch it. If you love it, but you have one tiny problem, I did that. But we don't have the same problem. So like, I don't, yeah, but yeah, and I'll be making a doll ads doing this if I can. I'm really stuttering here. Don't ask about that. Don't ask about that. You really don't want to know. No, don't way. Here we go. Why is this page so fucking small? But yeah, made an withdrawal ads for this, actually. Because why not? But basically, the stuff, if you don't know what Hellboss is about, then might as well let this video. But if you want to get into it, then I will tell you what it's about. Basically, this guy right here is an imp. He's founded an assassin company, IMB, stands for Immediate Murder Professionals, and he has 3 associates. Millie, his bestie, literally, like, they're basically, like, they were doing a guy's night out, and then these two were doing a girl's night out. That's, yeah. Motsy, his other, I feel like he's also his best friend, but people say that he's more of a father figure to Motsy, which Motsy never had. Because I don't like that. Well, some say. I saw it like once in a video, and I'm like, yes, that makes so much sense. And his adopted daughter, Luna, who is 22, as you say the ages. She's 27, I'm sure. Don't know about Motsy, he's probably around the same age. He's 33. This is all doodle, by the way. None of these has been like done from. I just typed these up. And he's 36. Don't know what I'm telling you. Let's adopt Luna 5 years ago. He adopted. He got these to join about after that. And now he runs Immediate Murder Professionals. For a lot of season 1, he had to use Soul's Grimoire, which is basically a spell book, mostly for witchcraft or summon demons, or expelling demons. It has a lot of uses, but it's mostly for showing how royally badass you are. But to get the Grimoire, as you can tell, it's not very common to just set your hands on a Teresa, which is actually like a true royalty in hell. Get a Teresa to hand you a Grimoire willingly, unless you're like married. Obviously they're not yet. But basically, I mean like a lot of fucking hand gestures. If I had a camera, you'd think I'm nuts. But basically, he has sex with him. Alright, they do the hoodie booty. I'm not gonna. They really do the devil's like the beast with everything. Alright, they do his team. Yeah. If you what jumped forward. So, if you watch the show, you know, and it will be uncensored on Prime. I'm dead to say it, but especially for what Stola says, especially in the pilot. But yeah, that's basically the whole plot. Well, that's the whole main plot. There was like separate plots in season 2. It's like season 1 start. Do you know how most shows start as like funny, light-hearted, but adults shows do like funny, sets to there, chilling there, mental fucking abuse. That's mostly with the Morty, mostly. Even physical abuse, honestly. I'm joking. I'm not giving any hate to Rick and Morty. That started me into adult animations and all that. Like, adult animations is something like really bad, corn stuff. But it started me into stuff like Helluva. Don't know why I'm not making little lads. I'm yapping. But yeah. Basically, that's the whole plot of it. Season 5, it really gets personal since. Let me dot that minute and then better like a really good image. Wait, stop this. But as don't ask about all of the save stuff. You don't want to know. But as a fan of the show, there are a few problems, but I don't really care about them. It is like watching. But once you get to episode 5 of season 1, it gets really serious. So in episode 2, you meet Robofizz, who is a robot of Blitz's old friend Fizz Wally. We'll get into that later. Who is basically like was his best friend into a drafted accident happened. I'm not spoiling it. But oh yeah, I should have put a disclaimer. If you have not watched Hellboss and do not want to get spoiled, leave this video. Unless you've just watched that or you want to be spoiled, so you can tell if it's really good or not, then carry on. I forgot to put a disclaimer at the start of the video, but I've not done anything yet besides them having sex. I'm running an a murder, an assassin business, basically. Yeah. But yeah. So in episode 2, we obviously meet, as I said, Fizz Wally. Who is this guy? Well, that's Wolfizz. He was Blitz's best friend, and obviously the robot version has all its memories. Does he goes in Blitz, or it deeply offends Blitz, since he goes by Blitz now, not Blitz. They're always silent. Yeah, he's meant for later whole fucking. Yeah. But in episode 3, we meet Blitz's ex. Wow, this is really Blitz censored. I know he's like the main character, but wow. We meet his ex for Wassager. It should be. Didn't there's some doubt of that song. I know I'm supposed to be making a draw lads, but like I might have to show you doubters. I do. Who is a succubus who goes to Earth. This scene to be. That sounds weird. to basically use her voice like a kind of like a siren, to make people do it. Make people like do it since he's a succubus. She tattooed Blitz's name onto her arm, right? That says Blitz with a heart around it. B, I think they said B or Blitz. And obviously he wasn't ready for this commitment. I think we don't have a lot of context. All we know that she said, "I love you" to him. He left, stole her doll. I think so was doll. Stole her dreaded dog. Drove 3 winds to Wrath and spent her dreaded dog on shitty horse riding lessons. The soul tells you this in like episode 3. So it's basically established that Dana went like Leonard and Benny and Bidbine. Leonard says, "I love you." Benny gets freaked out and breaks up this will reading dot into her head, saying that you should just rip the band-aid off and break up. Well, maybe it was will reading. You never have to find out. Anyway, back to the actual show at hand. In episode 4, we meet the cherubs, who aren't really the best people. Don't worry about that, I'll get into that episode later. The cherubs are basically the only real bad guys that you want to forget. It's one of my least favourite episodes, honestly. So basically, the cherubs go down here to save a man from ending his life. The opposite of IMB. They did it in a fight, and they did it out of heaven. Basically, not bidden fallen angels, just exiled, since they don't lose the wings or the halos. These not from what I remember from the episode when they done bad. Oh yeah, they done bad, like all the enemies done bad. Yeah, they deep the halos and that. Yeah. They basically hate IMB, and they basically represent it. Melee, Matze, Blitz. Basically. It's like the complete opposite. People ship Darlin with Lina. Really weird. But yeah. Then we go on to episode 5. I'm just gonna not bother with the doll ads. Now we're gonna go on to episode 5. Full Moon. Now, before I might get copyrighted, these are all made by either fan artists or Vivsy Bop who writes the show. Made the show, basically. Sometimes he doesn't write episodes, sometimes Brandon Rogers, who is the main voice of Blitz, writes it just so we all get clear that not all writing is her fault. Anyway, basically episode 5, Full Harvest Moon Festival. Now the Harvest Moon Festival is where Stoll stands up and does a speech, shows the moon. He invites Blitz and his dollies to go. Since Stolas is basically in love with Blitz. Why did my voice do that deep? In love with Blitz. It's not really obvious. Wants Blitz to be there. Like, fair enough. But this is after, they had to do their meeting. I just did air quotes. Short. Early, actually. Since he needs to do a merger to be able to access and do the Moon Festival. And it did stop in time to meet Millie's parents, which we never actually get to hear from again. I mean, you see her sister, and you see her parents in like one other episode. That's it, they don't talk. But Millie's parents are Joe and Lynn. They don't really accept Marty since Marty's a bit of a... Marty's Marty, okay? Millie's the man in the relationship. This thing stands for. But yeah. And then we meet a new character who seems like quite a dual, but a bit too interested in Blitz and Stolz's thing. Strider, a barn helper for Millie's parents. Blitz is excited to meet him and probably wants to do it with him. Obviously, when he does the Bane teams with him, which is basically wrestling and all that. Alright, you basically have to do stuff to prove that you're manly, all that stuff. Don't really know the main reason for it, but you just have to do opposite horses, stud of war. Yeah, Moxie gets beat up by a shark. By a shark, who like body slams him up. What? There might actually be an image. Oh yeah, that's the revelation. No, there isn't. Hold on. I'll literally show you this. That. Oh, that's absolutely horrible. He does not look happy. I like how he looks like. What are you doing? Like, okay, sorry, I'm then distracted. So they both win, actually. Blitz and Strider. And Stolas, being the lovable day owl he is, Jules, and the winner is Strider and my darling Blitzy. Don't ask how I can do that. Blitzy, I was doing say my name right and all that. Strider then does a song, and then Millie's trying to jump at Moxie, but Moxie did upset and goes back to the house, and you can see why. And Blitz is thinking of hiring him to IMP, and I mean Strider, to IMP. This upsets Moxie a bit, and Blitz lets Millie and Blitz doesn't really know why. He's kind of like shouting a bit in this episode, like he doesn't know the problem. I'm making a little bit by references, I'm so sorry. I mean, I may do it, but that's probably enough. But yeah. So Moxie goes inside, and I think they might be going to the restroom or something, or just watching around the house. You know, when you're bored, you're bored. When he sees a light under Strider's room, or I don't know if it is his room or it's just like a random one. But it's like it's low, so he opens it and sees an angelic sniper, or just a gun. I don't know if it is a sniper. It might be a sniper rifle. He unsees it, and then he's like pure Darmine, since Darmine is the overlord from Hasbin, who makes angelic weapons. Like the exorcist sometimes leave angelic stuff, and she directs it and turns it into guns, bullets, all that, and it can kill demon royalty. You see what we're doing? Yeah. Also, if you thought this was an episode about the Blobums, no, I was just saying that because I'm like, the Blobums are just Blobum. I don't see the point in like warning about it. I just want to explain the story. I don't think I've missed anything though. I mean, I rewatched it enough times to remember lines. Not anymore, but I did. Anyway, sorry. Let's continue. Him and Strider fights until Strider nearly suffocates him. Yeah, big date. Sorry. Millie hears it, jumps and stabs Strider five times. in the side, like probably around there. He bats Millie into a wall, causing like a bit, like causing her arm to bleed. He then throws them by their hair into the basement, where Millie gets her led into a bear trap. Motsy breaks out by using a gun, and it's just, he fucking hurts my brain sometimes, but he does it out. Now, as Strider gets ready to shoot Stolas, okay, he has him right inside. He hears a lit behind him, and Blitz goes, what the fuck are you doing? Oh, well, he does something like that, but he's like, what are you doing, man? Like, we're business associates now. Why are you trying to shoot my meal deal? Okay, and not a very happy meal deal, by the sounds of it. Strider says, Blitz, shouldn't you be down there? You know what's in your meal deal? And then Blitz basically goes, do you think I want to be standing around with a bunch of hillbillies outside about dawn? His words exactly, or at least maybe in one order. They fight. Blitz manages to bounces through a wall with, no, not through a wall, but through the actual wall, like, structure, like, from the inside. You know what I mean, right? Like, goes into the wall and doesn't even flinch. And then after Strider gets away, does Luna, like, tits the door at Motsy's face. Like, goes, I'm here. Does Blitz wrestled for help when he was sitting on top of Motsy. It sounds wrong than it is, but he was doing their fighting. But yeah, he looks out, sees he's done, and people think that he also looks at Stolas, since he kind of looks in their direction, which I kind of liked. The thought of him looking for Strider, then dancing eyes or Stolas and like staring a bit, I like that. They get home. Millie's parents say that they raised her better. Motsy says that she is the best assassin or best woman ever, and she's strong enough for the both of them. Joe, Millie's dad, gives him a nod. This is a good development. But after that, they get home and the realization happens. I've not mentioned this character yet, but I should have. Stolas cheated on his wife with Blitz. There is assumptions that Stella abuses Stolas. But it's not assumptions, it's more like canon, but it's not been proved, or it's like in that in between, is in that grey area. It's like it might be canon or it might just be fanon, but you can't really tell. I like to think that's canon. I know that sounds horrible, but I like to think that it's canon because of her personality. But his ex-wife is Stella. Well, now ex-wife, since they did a divorce later, obviously. He always loved Blitz. I was loved once. Really, I was loved once in the life. So he obviously went and slept with Blitz. He thought that Blitz was there to ravish him when they first met. Not first met, then met as they met as kids. It was on his 11th birthday and Blitz was 8. He met at the circus when Blitz was still in the circus and was still Blitzo. His father gave Blitz up with only a dime and like 5 bucks. 5 note. £5 note. And they spent the whole day together. Blitz had to steal from Stolas, like threw it out the window, pretend to play a pirate game. Dash, his father, did it. And then they spent the whole day together. It was actually really nice. Blitz seemed to really enjoy it, so did Stolas. Let's only them meet until 25 years later when they actually sleep together. Blitz was there to get the Drimra. Then Stolas thought that he was there to ravish him. Then this whole show happened. But Strider was hired by Stella, the wife of Stolas. and he literally dots on the phone while Stolas is beside her, reading a book, I think about imps, while eating like big fat potato. It might just be a rat though, fried rat. But it was a potato. Then his daughter right beside him, draws from Stella, listening to music and eating. So that, I think that's just the adult and that sort of thing. But yeah, that's when things really start to get into the serious bit. Episode 6, later the episode. I might read about this. I'm getting really thirsty. Hold on. That's way better. Episode 6, Season 1. So they are telling people, but our agency for demon stuff told Dots literally. Dots. This is also my favorite episode from the season. Dots. What on doing more supernatural stuff, demons, witches, all that. But they're not getting funded. Just like, who's gonna believe them? Until they've been drafting IMB for a while, thinking of why they're here. They eventually draft Sir Blitz and Moxie. Luna and Millie have to go save them. Blitz tells Luna to close the portal so it separates him and Moxie to Millie and Luna. When they do though, to save them, they look for them, obviously. But meanwhile, while they look, Blitz and Moxie are tied up, being interrogated. Not very good interrogation, so they decide to use truth. They start spilling the truths out at each other, and then they start hallucinating. Blitz is way more sadder than Moxie's. Moxie's more of a Disney musical. It's really like Disney's Handmade, as you can see the lines, like that. You can see the lines like old Disney movies when you would sometimes see the drawing lines or like the stretch lines on the face. I really like that detail. It was like a Disney musical, like very modern but also old-fashioned handmade art, which I really liked. So he talks to Blitz, who is singing with a piano, like Phantom of the Opera type stuff. I think I've not seen it. Like doing all that. All that. Blitz is, on the other hand, is everybody saying that he's gonna die alone. It starts with Moxie saying that you can't do anything without me and Millie, all that jazz. He doesn't actually say that, but with a British accent. Then it moves on to Strider, then Visuali, then Velocita, then it's Stolas saying, "Are you afraid to hurt people, Blitzy?" And as Blitz climbs upstairs to Stolas, who is on like a throne or a bed still, and he gets chains around him, and Stolas basically bulls him like a dog, like to his face, and you can actually see Blitz like blushing, but not in the type. It's like he likes Stolas, but the thought of him being trapped or chained like an animal to Stolas does not make him feel good. I think that's what that was the point, or he feels like Stolas doesn't care about him because he's higher up in the mountain. Anyway, by the end, he gets covered in gold feathers streaming, and that reminded me of Alien, the way streamed at the end. Oh, that's fantastic. Sorry. They wait up. They say, what's Millie's line? They say what they have to. They apologize. Millie breaks them out, and then Blitz sees Luna has Dame, and Blitz is like shocked. Does his like he loves her as a daughter, and she is basically her daughter since he adopted her before she was 18. But yeah, they fight it. Then they get stuck. Like it goes into lockdown, and they have no weapons left. Luna don't read the spell to do the portal, so Blitz actually puts himself in front of them, like that. Puts his arm out in front of Millie, Moxie, and Luna. But as they do, Stolas possesses one of them, gets summoned, but does he possess them? And then you have, what the fudge were you thinking? To Blitz, saying how if later in trouble he gets in trouble, puts us our next point for season 2. So they end. So he opens a bottle, all that jazz. He's a fucking magician. Luna, Millie, and Moxie enter first. Stolas then picks up Blitz, and as they basically kiss, right? This Blitz says, "Don't make me use those bear traps," and then Stolas says, "Please do." They kiss, right? Because basically Stolas said, "Try to any compensation for saving you." And then Blitz basically goes, "I can fuck your brains out tonight." Why do I remember that line but not any other ones? I really need help. But as they kiss, you can actually pause at a few moments where you can actually see Blitz smiling. You don't even have to pause, you can just tell. You can tell that he enjoys being with Stolas, or while he's sleeping and kissing with Stolas. And all that. Now, episode 7, Blitz follows Millie and Moxie. 2, I think I'm done with a part 2 for season 2, and then a part 3 for season 3, and a part for the shorts. But basically, Millie and Moxie goes on the anniversary of 1 year married. Did I forget to mention that they are married couple? Well, they are. 1 year married. Blitz follows them, does him, but he can't get into Aussie's, which is a bit fancy club, which is very romantic or sexy. And sexy. But so he asked Stolas on a date. Meanwhile, using him. Stolas was at home, depressed. And he's his pupils done into hearts, that's how sad it is. He did stress, but on makeup. Blitz thinks it's a bit much, but he doesn't really understand it. They did him. Then all hell breaks loose. Moxie scenes as Mortis and Fizz Wally interrupt him. The real Fizz Wally. Blitz stands up to them. Fizz Wally says, "Blitzo, you saw a new face. This guy is a total disgrace." And then the relationships and all that. Made in front of him. Then Ferocity shows up. Yep, Ferocity shows up. Also, praise him. Blitz seems more guilty about Ferocity than Fizz Wally, which we'll be getting into later. Then, Morty sees Stolas at the table. And he's like, you had a hard wife, a dog, and did you do it all of it for this imp and all that? I don't remember the limits. Stolas puts the menu off his face, and Blitz feels Blitz actually people's dilate or something. Don't know the right description. And then he looks away embarrassed, not of himself, but embarrassed of being with Stolas, who is now embarrassed. He's embarrassed for Stolas, or he feels bad and all that. They finish the song. Millie hits Fizz Wally with the jar. I now actually like Fizz Wally, so I'm a little stupid. And that is basically it. Blitz drops Stolas off. Stolas tries to invite him in. Blitz says, it's a really, this is when it starts getting really emotional. After season 7, this is when you need to get ready with gestures. I only left one episode, I only tried, not laugh, sorry, only tried one episode, which I'll be done in my next spot of season 2. By the way, even if the sits no lights, no nothing, I just like making videos and I like down by Helluva, so it's a win-win, and I'm not making that to lads, am I? Anyway, yeah. Blitz says that it's just footing and all that. He runs off, Solus tries. Blitz looks at bits of his mother, who we assumed he may have accidentally dilled at the same reason why Fizzwally hates him, or he hates Fizzwally. Basically, I don't know why I've done and try it, it's just so sad and all that, and I just want to, yeah. Next episode, Luna goes to a party with Fortets, who she likes but has girlfriend. Really standards type shit, honestly. Luna meets Tets's girlfriend, who happens to be Beelzebub, the sin of gluttony. She is Bartfly, hold on, I'll actually show you. Damn it. This is Beelzebub. Not the real one, just this is her true form. Luna gets embarrassed and decides to doll. Oh, she doesn't get embarrassed. She dolls somebody a bit. Does this girl? Does I hate her? I really do. She dolls Blitz bit her up. He does. Somebody starts flirting with Luna. He gets protective, and then Luna says that maybe they can stay. Blitz says, "Oh, do you want drink?" But he gets really, really drunk. Like, fully. Right. He disses this guy. Then is about he was dissing this guy, and then is about to diss this guy. Basically, what happened here is Luna. I think London Souls is not my favourite episode, so I've not watched it as much. But basically, she says something that insults Beelzebub. Hope people ship these two, and I honestly don't see it. Anyway, sorry. Luna drives Blitz home, and Blitz says, "I'm gonna die alone, aren't I?" But Wally was right. And then he said, "Will you be there, Luna?" He then mumbles a bit, but he then a bit up. I don't know, when I'm old or frail or something. Luna actually told Blitz's dad, said, "Yeah, I'll be there, Dad." It's not the first time she told him Dad. She said, "That's my dad," when he was judging drinks, and actually beat Beelzebub at her own drinking game. This is when actually, yeah, I remember what this argument was about. Basically, she was getting bad vibes from Blitz. Luna said, "Oh, it must be great to have everybody love you," and then Luna gave up when she saw how uncomfortable Fortets was, and he went to go find Blitz. Yeah. So anyway, as the episode starts to end and Luna enters the room, you can hear Blitz say, mumble. No, I don't know if he mumbles Luna, but I know he mumbles Millie, Motzi, Luna, then pause, Stolas. And then he throws up. Like, he literally says, "Oh shit, I did need to throw up." Then that's season 1. Oh, that's gonna be fun to talk about. But that's gonna be in the next part, because I don't know any deep talking. I will be talking about Has-Been Hotel. Maybe I might actually do a 110 episode stuff. I might actually be doing that. I might do that before I post part 2 of this. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this. Does my throat hurts? I actually really enjoyed this. I had to talk about something that I love personally. And that, like, that is amazing. But yeah, this is it. This is the end of the episode. Thank you and goodbye. Oh, and sees, I don't know when, but just coming out. Might be today, might be tomorrow, might be like in a month. But bye. No, bye.